Guys, this team is absolutely incredible. It just got me so much progress, and I absolutely have to share it with you. You'll notice that if we come over into Sand Devil, I have now cleared everything up to stage 25, having some trouble with stage 25, but there are a couple things that I think we can solve to get this team to be able to do stage 25 Sand Devil as a duo team, not using Godseeker, Aniri, or Ninja. So a completely new team to duo Sand Devil 25. I'm going to be showing you the champions, the builds for the champions, and everything else. Guys, I am Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and let's get into it. Hold up! Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. All right, first of all, what the heck is the team? Well, the team is going to be Cheshire Cat, Tribune Herakletes here, and 3 undead food champs. It is important and necessary that they are undead food champs, but the Cheshire Cat and Herakletes effectively. We can solo with food. Now, why is it important that the champs are undead? Well, it's because of Tribune Herakletes, and his whole kit revolves around him being dead. Now, Tribune Herakletes is a bit more of a limited champion, but a lot of people actually have this guy, and I think he's extremely underrated. So in these 3 areas, Ice Golem, Dragon, and Sand Devil, Tribune Herakletes can get you a bunch of progression, especially if paired with the Cheshire Cat. But let's see what exactly he does. On his A1, he attacks one enemy, places a True Fear on the target for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if this champion is dead. On the A2, attacks one enemy, ignores 100% of the target's defense. If the target was killed, revives a random dead ally with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. If the target was killed and there are no dead allies, resets the cooldown of this skill instead. Yeah, we said if he's dead, he heals everybody by 20% of their max HP on the A1. That is super important. Make sure you keep that in mind later on in his kit. On the A3, attacks all enemies, destroys the max HP of all enemies by 10%, places a shield buff on the champion for 2 turns. The value of the shield is equal to the total amount of all enemies destroyed max HP. With 1 faction ally, the shield buff placed by this skill cannot be removed. With 2 faction allies, instantly activates the skill whenever the champion is revived. With 3 faction allies, will ignore a portion of each target's defense. The amount of defense ignored is equal to the percentage of each target's destroyed max HP. Then on the passive here, whenever this champion is revived, increases the damage inflicted by this champion by 20%, stacks up to 200%. With 1 faction ally, this champion immune to block revives debuffs. With 2 faction allies receives 20% less damage if this champion is dead. With 3 faction allies, whenever this champion is dead and an attack kills an enemy, this champion will join that attack using their default skill, so he's going to heal everybody by 20%. So basically, we're using the same old Herakletes build as we have in the other Herakletes videos, which is just absolutely nothing. So he's coming in here with 31k HP, 2.4k defense, 95 speed, basically no stats to speak of, right? And so he is going to get 1 shot, probably, by whatever boss we are going up against. However, if he's dead with 3 faction allies, he'll always join, healing everybody by 20% of their max HP. As far as masteries are concerned on Tribune Herakletes, I did buy them just for this video. The only one I thought we needed to worry ourselves about is War Master, and it turns out that we can't War Master proc when dead. Now, I'm not sure if that's a bug or not. I am going to report it to Plarium just to see what they say, but it's not worth mastering your Herakletes because War Master does not work when he's dead, as of right now at least. As far as the relic is concerned, he doesn't need a relic or anything. All he needs is the 3 faction allies to team up with the Cheshire Cat and heal Cheshire by 20%. That's really all he needs, because the Cheshire Cat has a very fun build here, very solo focused build. On the A3 here, attacks all enemies with Perfect Veil and increase attack on himself, extra turn if he kills someone. The A2 attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit will decrease the enemy's speed by 1% up to 10%. Does not work against bosses, unfortunate, but it's okay. Each hit will also increase his speed by 1% up to 10%. So we want this champion to be fast. As you can see, he's scaling off of speed, so you're just going to get him faster, doing even more damage with this A2. It's very, very important for soloing stuff. If this skill kills an enemy, places Perfect Veil on this champion and the ally with the lowest turn meter for 2 turns. Pretty nice bonus there. Then on the A1, attacks one enemy. If this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil, attacks all enemies instead, and then places Perfect Veil on him for 1 turn. Now, this A1 absolutely smacks, at maybe even harder than the A3. So we're definitely going to be relying on the A1 a lot for our damage. Then the passive here, which is what makes him so good for soloing stuff. This passive makes him one of the best solo champions in the entire game on a 3-turn cooldown. But the passive effect here, if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil, turn meter fill effects are 30% more effective. So he's just going to get more turn meter. It doesn't really matter for this team, but it is really good for other teams that we might want to run him in. Also, if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil, this champion's attacks will ignore 15% defense and inflict 15% more damage. So he's just going to hit harder while he is under Perfect Veil. But the part that makes him so good for soloing stuff, on a 3-turn cooldown, whenever this champion is about to receive a hit that would drop their HP below 20%, blocks the incoming damage and places a block damage and Perfect Veil buff on this champion for 1 turn. Again, on a 3-turn cooldown. So ideally, you want him to run 3-1 with the bosses. You know, granted, you can have a little bit of leeway there if the boss isn't hitting you as hard or whatever. Potentially 2-3 with the bosses would be good as well, or 3-2 with the bosses might be good as well. But really, as long as he doesn't die, right? As long as we can trip this passive whenever he gets a fatal hit, you know, it's going to be really good. And of course, Tribune Herakletes is going to help heal him up, make sure that we don't rely on this passive nearly as much. Guys, how do I have him built? Well, his stats are as follows. We're coming in with 5.5k attack, some of the highest attack on my entire account. 269 speed, the highest speed on any nuker on my account. Crit capped and 266% crit damage. For a relic, we have the Cat's Gaze, and in the Cat's Gaze, we have the Invigorated Gemstone. Not the best for soloing stuff, but it is the Cat's Gaze relic. As far as a blessing is concerned, we went with Soul Reap. Soul Reap will just finish off the bosses a little bit faster, and he's also bringing his nice speed aura for himself, which is really good. Now, we come down to masteries here. And we took the crit rate, right? We took the crit damage, the life drinker, of course, for when he's below 50% HP, coming down to Helm Smasher, which is mostly for Arena and Hydra. But, you know, it is okay for soloing stuff as well, especially on the lower levels that we're going to be tackling today. We also have speed increasing masteries. So Whirlwind of Death increases his speed by 6 for each enemy that he kills, up to 18 speed. So we're going to get an extra 18 speed there. Let's see, that's a random skill cooldown. As far as support goes, we took some extra max HP. We took Lay on Hands to try to buff the life drinker, right? We took Rapid Response, 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a buff cast by this champion is removed or expires. So again, on his passive, he's going to get some turn meter increase from that as well. Lore of Steel, since he is in a pinpoint set, we're going to pick up some more speed from Lore of Steel. And then Spirit Haste increases speed by 8 for each dead ally up to 24. Keep in mind, everybody is going to be dead for all of these runs. So, you know, he's going to get an extra 24 speed. So he's going to get another 18 speed in any of the like wave content that we're running, and then another 24 speed on top of that, which stacks up to 32 extra speed, which puts him running over 300 speed for any sort of wave content that we want to be clearing today, guys. Then, of course, Lasting Gifts, 30% chance to extend the duration of any buff cast by this champion by 1 turn. So what exactly can this guy do? Again, we are putting him with Herakletes, and the food he is going to be farming does have to be undead. So we'll go into stage 21 dragon here. Let's go ahead and see what exactly he can do against stage 21 dragon. So he goes in with the first AoE. He does ramp himself there, which is very nice. Herakletes will not die until we get to the boss, which is worth noting. However, the cat is going to make very good work of the waves. We don't have to worry about him dying here at all. We just need to basically nuke our way through, right? We just need to nuke our way through. No harm in that. There's the battle resurrection from Herakletes. Again, it doesn't matter if he dies or not until we get to the boss, because Cheshire Cat isn't going to die on the waves. At least not as far as I know. Again, we are using his speed aura for an extra 19% speed. Cheshire Cat is all about speed. Speed, and more speed from this guy. I mean, it's really awesome. It's really awesome that this champion is capable of such a thing, honestly. It does take a little bit longer because of that HP balance, but there you go. I mean, he's already gaining speed. He's already ramping, all that kind of stuff. Now we're at the dragon, and this is where it becomes important that Herakletes dies, right? We're going pretty fast with the dragon, which is pretty good here. We do not want to take any sort of fatal hits, but we shouldn't have to, because Herakletes should die in a turn or so. And yeah, it's really important that you don't take Life Drinker on Herakletes, because you do not want him to heal when he hits. You need him dead, right? You need him dead. Let's go with the Feline Frenzy in there again. The dragon is going to go and kill Herakletes. Exactly what we need. Now he's dead, and now he starts pumping out the healing whenever the Cheshire Cat gets a turn and actually attacks an enemy. I mean, so now he's just going to keep us nice and topped off. Again, War Master does not work while he's dead. I wasted 800 gems for this video. Just be aware that the War Master does not work when your Herakletes is dead, so he does not need masteries in the slightest. But now he's nice and keeping our kitty alive. That's what we like to see. You do want to run this on a strong affinity. He can do magic affinity as well. It just takes a little bit longer, right? And you can now duo Dragon Dungeon with food using the Cheshire Cat and a dead champion. What the heck, guys? What the heck? I mean, it's honestly awesome that teams like this are possible in Raid Shadow Legends right now. I mean, we're making pretty short work of the boss. It's going to be about a 3-minute farm, which isn't bad in the slightest, guys. It's not bad in the slightest. Again, Cheshire Cat now running at, over 300 speed. There's the soul reproc for the win. I'm going to keep that to see if it triple rolls speed. All right. He can also do Ice Golem. We're not going to go with, I'm not going to show you a Sand Devil run, just because it takes a really, really long time. But here is the squad that we can go in for Ice Golem as well. Now, it is important to note that there is reflect damage on the spirit and force affinities of Ice Golem, which means the cat actually needs to kill the waves faster than they can put out the reflect damage. Now, he is running so fast that it shouldn't matter. However, it can be kind of annoying here if they get reflect damage up, which we really do not want in the slightest. We really do not want that. Yeah, see, there's the reflect damage, and that's a problem. That's a problem because of that, right? So the way to fix this, you can't really fix this. You just kind of need to kill the waves faster than that. But he can do it. He can do Ice Golem 20. The one thing you could do is go on to a Void Affinity stage. Let's go into a Void Affinity stage. He shouldn't have any problem here because I don't think there's any sort of reflect damage. Yeah, no, there's not any reflect damage on the Void stages. So he can definitely do the Void stages. He did do the Ice Golem 20 stage for me without a problem. But again, we have to kill those waves before the reflect damage goes, which is, it's just kind of funky if he, has his cooldowns in the wrong spot. You know what I mean? But other than that, not really too worried here at all, right? Of course, he's going to be ramping. He's going to be getting that A1. That A1 is absolutely going to smack. Awesome. There we go. We get that extra turn. I would have used the A1 there, but whatever. It's the AI. The AI does stuff that it does. Guys, I mean, honestly, now he's dead. And now, Life Drinker putting in the work there. Nice. There's the passive, right? The passive saving the cat. We like to see that. It doesn't save him from the reflect damage, though, unfortunately. Now, Herakletes is going to be putting in the work, right? And the Cheshire Cat is going to be just pretty much doing all tank stuff, right? He's just going to be tanking stuff. Now, the heal reduction is a bit of a problem. There's the block damage. You don't like to see that while he's under heal reduction. But you know what? It's okay. It is what it is, pretty much. We get an extra turn there, wearing off that heal reduction, meaning we can get back to our skills a little bit better, get some more healing in there, right? Get some more healing in there. I don't see Herakletes healing every single time, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's the block damage. That's what we like to see. We like to see him running nice and fast. Of course, he's ramping with the A2 as well. There we go. Nice. Herakletes keeping him nice and healed up. Basically, Herakletes is a regen set without the regen, right? Without having to actually use the regen set, right? So here we are. We're going to go in with that AoE again. We go in with the A2. We are now perfectly fine to get healed up again. This is why we need to run so fast with the cat, guys. Why we need to run so fast, because we need to get it back around to his passive so that Herakletes can heal him back up and we're not in danger of completely going out the drain, guys. Here we go. Here we go. More healing. The fears from Herakletes are kind of nice too, but, you know, they're not necessary or anything for the run. Mostly what we're concerned about is the healing, and for that, he does need the 3 undead food. Another reason to use food instead of just 3 other undead champions is because with the Spirit Haste Mastery, the cat's speed is actually going to increase, right, by that 28. I think it's 28 that he gets. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good, right? We're making pretty good work of the boss here. Ice Golem solos are never fast anyway, so I'm not concerned about having a 3-minute farm or whatever else. You know, it just kind of is what it is. You could potentially use like a revenge accessory if you wanted to for the cat so that you can get a couple more A1s off. There's the block damage. And guys, here we are. Here we are. It's just going to be short work of the boss now. Just going to be short work of the boss. We do fear the heal reduction guy quite often, which is really nice, but, you know, it's not necessary by any means. As you could see earlier, we were surviving just fine without it. Basically, you can't do this unless your cat is extremely fast, and he is one of those nukers that you want to prioritize speed on because speed actually changes his multiplier rather than anything else. So definitely be building your cat with a lot of speed, as much speed as you possibly can get. There we go. We have the Feline Frenzy again. There we go. More healing from Herakletes. I would actually like to take a look at the stats, and there's the Soul Reap, right? There's the Soul Reap. Guys, you can see Herakletes is a very competent healer. Really good for duoing these kinds of dungeons. As I mentioned before, he can do Sand Devil. We just need the cat a little bit faster to finish out Sand Devil 25 there. Guys, what do you think of my duo team? Yes, it's weird. Yes, it's fun. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What kind of weird team do you guys like to use? Guys, I have been Felrus, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends. I will see you in another video.